The seal was meant to stay closed. 7 on 70 words. Third person, simple English, suspenseful. For centuries, the galaxy believed Earth was finished. The humans had once fought with unmatched fury, destroying fleets with technology that defied reason. But after the War of 9 Suns, they disappeared. They closed their borders, sealed their worlds, and fell silent. The Galactic Council marked Earth as a sealed planet. No contact, no entry. It was a warning written in fear, but warnings are often ignored by fools. On a small research ship, near the old human borderline, a young scavenger named Dren was hunting for ancient tech. He didn't believe in old legends. To him, the stories of human war gods were just that, stories. His ship floated quietly above a long-abandoned station. It was Earth-made, dark metal, floating like a ghost in space. Every light inside was off, but the structure remained untouched for 100 years. Easy salvage, Dren muttered. He docked, suited up, and entered through a manual hatch. The air was stale, silent, dead, until he found the room. It was a vault, sealed with layers of defense he couldn't understand. At its center was a tall glass chamber filled with soft blue light and strange writing. He didn't recognize the language, but one symbol stood out, a single word in Galactic standard, wrath. That should have been enough, but curiosity is dangerous. Dren connected his tool and began bypassing the locks. One by one, lights turned green. As the last lock disengaged, a deep hum echoed through the station. The glass chamber hissed, steam rose, and a quiet voice, calm and inhumanly cold, spoke from the bare wall. Seal broken. Defense protocol active. Earth reawakening. Dren backed away. What did I just do? The answer came quickly. Across the galaxy, systems began to blink red. Old human satellites, thought to be dead, suddenly came online. A forgotten signal buried under layers of code reached deep into Earth's system. On a silent planet once called Terra Nova, lights flared up in massive underground bunkers, machines hummed, shields powered on. Ships that had slept for generations began to move. And deep beneath the crust, a cold chamber opened. Inside, they waited. Not soldiers, not machines, gods of war. In the Galactic Council, alarms screamed. High Chancellor Breath stared at the report. Unauthorized. Breach of Earth protocol detected, an aide said. The Chancellor's hands shook. Where? Old Sector 9. A scavenger triggered it. Breath stood slowly. Then it's begun. What has, sir? Breath didn't answer. He just stared out the window into the stars. He remembered the old days. The fire, the screams, the way humans fought. Not for power, not for land, but for wrath. And now, the seal was broken. Dren didn't get far. As he scrambled back to his ship, the human station began changing. Walls shifted, lights activated. The cold silence became something alive. He reached his cockpit and hit the thrusters. The station did not follow. It didn't need to. From behind the planet, a dark shadow emerged. A human ship. It was like nothing he'd ever seen. Sleek, silent, massive. No lights, no name, no signal. Just presence. It moved without sound and stopped directly in front of him. His ship's systems shut down instantly. Every screen turned black, then lit with a single message. Earth remembers. Dren stared in horror. He hadn't found treasure. He had awakened a storm. The first spark, HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 2 of 7, third person, simple English, 770 words. Dren's ship floated in space, powerless. The massive human vessel stood still in front of him, like a sleeping beast that didn't need to roar to show its strength. Its dark surface shimmered with strange patterns, shifting as if alive. Inside, his cockpit, Dren panicked. He slammed buttons, tried emergency restart, backup thrusters. Nothing worked. His voice trembled. This can't be happening. Suddenly, one screen blinked. A face appeared. Not human. Not alien. Something in between. Smooth. Pale. Cold eyes that looked through him, not at him. Scavenger. It spoke. Emotionless. You touched what should not be touched. I didn't mean, Dren tried to explain. You unsealed a protocol, meant to stay buried. I didn't know. I thought it was just old tech. The figure's eyes narrowed. Earth has awakened. The galaxy will now face what it ran from. The screen turned off. Power returned to Dren's ship. The human vessel moved fast, too fast for anything that size. It vanished in a blink. He sat there alone. The stars seemed colder now. On Terra Nova, alarms echoed deep beneath the surface. Massive bunkers opened. Old generals stepped out from stasis, calm and sharp-eyed. Machines flew through underground tunnels. Artificial minds activated long-dormant battle systems. Giant forges began crafting ships once thought impossible. A voice echoed through the command hall. Protocol Wrath confirmed. Phase 1. Galactic presence. From orbit, 12 black ships rose into the sky, each one capable of wiping out entire fleets. Earth was not just awake. It was preparing. In the heart of the Galactic Council, chaos erupted. Emergency meetings were called. Screens displayed movement in old human sectors, no signals, no calls, just ships fast, silent, spreading across old borders. What are they doing? A council member shouted. Positioning, Breath replied quietly. They're showing us how fast they can return. We must strike now. With what? Breath snapped. They haven't fired a shot. They haven't made a demand, and they're already everywhere. A young officer spoke up. Then what do we do? Breath. Look tired, we pray. Across smaller systems, the reaction was mixed. Some feared war, others celebrated. In mining colonies and fringe worlds, where the Empire's rule had brought only pain, people painted Earth's symbol on walls. The stories were spreading. The humans are back. They were sealed. Now they're free, and where fear had once ruled, now came hope. For some, and terror for others. Meanwhile, Dren fled. He left the sector fast, heading toward neutral space. But wherever he went, he heard the same thing. Human ships appearing, scanning, then vanishing. No attacks, no messages. Just presence. He reached a small trading post and sent a report. I made a mistake. I woke them. The seal was real. No one replied. Because by then, the council had already issued a silent order. Dren must not speak again. Back on Terra Nova, the silver-haired woman stood before a tall glass wall. Beyond it, rows of warriors trained in silence. Each one moved with perfect speed, eyes glowing faintly. Behind her, the man who had spoken to Dren watched star maps blinking with red dots. Phase 2 begins soon, he said. When the first shot is fired, we won't wait. She nodded. And it won't be us. Do you think they'll understand? Her voice was cold. No. They fired first. HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 3 of 7. Third person. Simple English. 770 words. The Galactic Council was divided. Some called for peace, some called for silence, but the loudest voices called for war. Their positioning. Ships near major routes, shouted Commander Tell. They haven't fired yet, but this is a military buildup. They're showing force, not making threats. Chancellor Breath replied. It's a warning, not an invasion. Tell slammed his fist on the table. That warning cost us the 7th sector. Entire fleets turned tail just seeing one human ship. This is psychological warfare. A younger counselor stood. We have a duty to protect the galaxy. If we do nothing, Earth will take it all. Breath looked around. He saw the fear in every face. Earth hadn't lifted a finger, and still the council trembled. He knew what was coming. So he closed his eyes. When they voted, the decision, strike first, show power, break fear. The fleet moved fast. 10 warships led by the Empire's elite unit, Shadow Wing, jumped into Earth-controlled space. Their target, A human listening station orbiting an empty moon. No defenses, no weapons, only sensors. The Admiral gave the order. All ships, open fire. In moments, the station shattered. Flames and debris floated in silence. The Admiral smirked. Now they'll think twice. But then the stars changed. One by one, human ships decloaked all around them. Not 10, not 20, over 100. Black hulls, silent engines, strange energy readings that didn't match any known tech. The Admiral's smile vanished. "Retreat," he yelled. But it was too late. The first pulse didn't fire weapons. It froze time. Every Imperial ship stopped moving, dead in space. Screens flashed white. Systems shut down. Then a voice filled every ship at once. A voice that was not angry, just cold. "Earth did not attack. You fired first. Now, you'll learn what war truly is." Across the galaxy, thousands of systems lit up. Human forces appeared in places once lost to time. Forgotten outposts, sealed gates, hidden tunnels. Ancient satellites reactivated. Human AIs emerged from digital sleep. The galaxy trembled. Because Earth was no longer returning. It was already here. On Terra Nova, the silver-haired woman stood before a tall control pillar. Her hand touched glowing runes. Her eyes showed no emotion. Behind her, the man from the deep chamber spoke. They sent a message in blood. "Shall we answer with fire?" She didn't move. Not yet. Why? She turned slowly. Because the galaxy still doesn't understand. "Let them watch one more time." She paused. Then, "Let the sky burn." In the Empire's central hub, Breath stared at the reports. Every fleet, every command, every system they had, the humans had already mapped it. "They were watching us this whole time," he whispered. He looked up at the terrified council. "We didn't wake a giant. We woke a god." The Sky Burned Without Fire. HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 4 of 7. Third person. Simple English. EO. 770 words. The Empire's High Command launched what they called the counter-thrust operation. 2 full battle groups. 40 heavy cruisers. Over 1,000 smaller ships. Their target, Virex Station, a former human outpost now reactivated and glowing with unknown signals. This time, the Empire wouldn't just strike first. They would strike hard. Admiral Glor led the charge. He believed in numbers, in firepower, in overwhelming force. "We'll reduce that station to atoms," he said to his officers. "And when the humans respond, we'll crush them with everything we have." He was wrong. The fleet dropped out of jump space right above Virex Station. It looked empty, just a black platform hanging in orbit above a lifeless world. No visible weapons, no fighters. Nothing. But the scans were wrong, because Earth didn't use visible weapons anymore. "Admiral, the station is charging something," an officer shouted. Glor leaned forward. "All ships, open fire." Missiles launched. Lasers sliced through space. They hit the station and passed through it. No damage, no impact. It was like firing at a shadow. And then, it began. Virex Station pulsed. A ring of blue light expanded out from its core, reaching every ship. Systems began to fail, but not in the usual way. Weapons didn't just shut down, they melted. Engines didn't just stall, they vanished. Whole. Ships began unraveling like paper touched by fire, and worst of all, there was no explosion. The fleet was simply erased, one ship at a time. Admiral Glor screamed. "What is this? What kind of weapon is this?" The answer came on his screen, a calm human face, not angry, not cruel, just disappointed. "You measure power and destruction. We mastered silence." His screen went black. Then the ship followed. Gone. Back. At Terra Nova, the silver-haired woman turned away from the station feed. The man beside her said, "They still don't understand what they're facing." "They will," she replied, "but only once." He nodded. "The next fleet will be larger." She looked up. "Then we will show them less." In the council chambers, panic had become madness. They erased 40 warships, one member shouted. No bodies, no wreckage, nothing left. Is it a weapon? A new drive? A dimensional field? Breath stood in silence. He had seen this before. Long ago, during the last war with Earth, he remembered what the humans said back then. You shoot with bullets. We reshape physics. News spread fast. Entire sectors surrendered to Earth without a fight. Some worlds celebrated, painting human symbols in their skies. Others fell into silence, waiting for their fate. And in the shadowy corners of the galaxy, whispers grew louder. Earth has surpassed war. They don't fight. They choose what exists. In a hidden room of the Empire, a general slammed his fist on a map. They don't want territory. They don't want power. Then what do they want? Breath answered from the shadows. They want us to understand. Understand what? Breath looked at him. That this was never a war. This was a warning. What Earth became. HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 5 of 7, third person, simple English, 770 words. The Empire was breaking, not from weapons, not from invasion, from fear. Entire sectors went silent. Colonies shut down. Military ships refused orders. Captains abandoned posts. Some even fled beyond the edge of the galaxy. But the High Council still wanted one thing, a weakness. Some answer to the impossible. In the darkest vault of the Empire's intelligence core, an old record keeper named Ryan searched through forbidden files. These were sealed data streams from the last human war, files so dangerous that even reading them once had led to exile. But the Council was desperate. Find me something, the Chancellor told him. Anything they feared. Anything we can use. Ryan opened a file marked with a red symbol, a single eye. Inside were images, audio logs, ship scans, footage of something the Empire had long erased from history. One voice repeated again and again, Earth is not a planet anymore. It's a mind. Terra Nova, what people still called Earth, was quiet. No cities, no noise. From orbit it looked peaceful, beautiful. But inside, there were no governments, no nations, only a network, a vast planet-spanning consciousness that connected every machine, every AI, every ship, and every human. Earth had become something else. A hybrid of mind, machine, and memory. It didn't just react, it predicted. It didn't fight wars, it prevented them. And now that the seal was broken, it was awake. In a private chamber deep beneath the Council, Chancellor Breath and General Malin watched a hidden recording. Man in an Imperial uniform stood in front of a black monolith, shaking. They told me not to enter the core, he said into the camera. But I did. And now I know why. He pointed behind him. There are no leaders, no rulers. The planet itself decides. It thinks, it watches, it waits. I saw it. I felt it. The footage ended. The file corrupted itself. Breath turned to the general. They became more than us. Malin frowned. Then they must be stopped. With what? Breath asked. You can't kill a planet that thinks. Meanwhile, in deep space, Dren, the scavenger who broke the seal, was hiding. He moved from moon to moon, hoping the Empire had forgotten. Him they hadn't. An Imperial hunter drone finally caught up. It didn't fire, it didn't speak, it simply showed him a single sentence. Earth remembers your hand. Then it vanished. In Terra Nova's command vault, the silver-haired woman stood before a vast floating map. Red lights blinked where Empire systems still tried to resist. She touched a point with her finger. No fire, she said. Are you sure? The man beside her asked. They will keep trying. She nodded. But the galaxy watches. They need to see. What? She looked up. Mercy. Later that day, in 3 different systems where Earth ships had appeared, something happened. Power returned to damaged colonies. Food printers were dropped. Medical drones healed civilians. Human ships left without speaking a word, and the people began to whisper. They could have destroyed us, but they chose to help. The galaxy now stood on a thin edge. The Empire still held a few strongholds. The humans made no demands. But tension was building. Everyone felt it. Because if war came now, it would be the last. Judgment Day, HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 6 of 7. Third person, simple English, 770 words. The Empire's High Council was falling apart. Half of its members had resigned. The others whispered behind closed doors. But one man remained certain, General Malin. He believed fear could be broken. He believed Terra Nova could be silenced. And so, he activated Project Sunpiercer, a secret weapon built in a dead system far from any charted route. A missile, not just a bomb, a collapsing matter, warhead wrapped in dark matter shielding. Designed to pierce planetary cores and rip them apart from the inside. He gave no warning. He sent no message. He just fired it, straight at Terra Nova. The missile flew through subspace, undetected by normal scans. Fast, silent, invisible, it would arrive in minutes. On the surface of Terra Nova, no alarms rang. The skies were clear. Children trained in gravity parks. Ships were being rebuilt. And deep beneath the crust, the silver-haired woman stood before Earth's living core. The man beside her approached quickly. We've detected it. It's wrapped. Hidden. She turned calmly. Trajectory? Direct. Aimed at the central layer. Her eyes narrowed. From them? He nodded. Empire signature. A moment passed. She didn't panic. She simply placed her hand on the glowing surface beside her, and Earth responded. High above Terra Nova, a storm formed in the black of space. It wasn't weather. It wasn't energy. It was will. A twisting cloud of light and force, something not born of tech or nature. And within seconds, the missile arrived, but it never reached the surface. It stopped, frozen in space as if held by an invisible hand. Then it began to turn backward, back toward the system it came from. Inside his war room, General Malin watched in horror as the tracking display flipped. No, no, no. The warhead was returning, faster than before, straight to the base that launched it, and the last message from Terra Nova echoed on every Empire channel. We warned you. You chose fire. Now you will feel what it means to burn. The Sunpiercer entered the base's orbit. It paused, for just a second, and then it detonated, but not with fire, with silence. A ripple of light expanded, and the entire star system vanished. No sound, no debris, just nothing. A hole where life once was. Across the galaxy, screens went black. Ships stopped moving. Even non-human species paused, sensing something had changed. A message followed. Not a threat, not a command, just one line. Judgment has passed. In the Galactic Council chamber, Chancellor Breath lowered his head. There is no more war, he said. Only consequences. The Council didn't argue. There was nothing left to say. Back on Terra Nova, the silver-haired woman stood again before the map. This time, there were no red lights, only stillness. The man beside her looked out the glass wall. It's over. She shook her head. No. Now they must choose what comes next. He turned to her. And if they choose wrong, she whispered, then Earth will no longer judge. There was a pause. She finished. It will end. The last choice. HFY Sci-Fi Story, Part 7 of 7. Third person, simple English, 770 words. The galaxy stood still. No fleets moved, no weapons fired. The Empire had lost its warship systems. Their final weapon, the Sunpiercer, had been turned against them. Entire star systems were now silent shadows in the void. But Earth didn't claim victory. There were no invasions, no armies, No rulers stepping forward, only one final message, broadcast to every world in every language, across every star system. This is not conquest. This is clarity. You feared our silence, then you broke it. Now you must decide, do you live under fear or beside reason? Across 100 worlds, people gathered around screens, in open deserts, on station walls, inside deep space mining domes. The image was the same. The silver-haired woman from Terra Nova. Behind her, Earth's living map glowed, no longer pulsing. With red, she spoke calmly. This galaxy has been led by fear for too long. Empires ruled by fire. Borders enforced by force, silence punished. She stepped forward. We are no longer silent. But we are not here to rule. She paused. Make your choice. In the remains of the Galactic Council, the last members argued. Submit to them and we lose everything. No, we lost everything already. Then what? We follow their path? We follow a path. One without war. Breath stood. Tired. Worn. But clear-eyed. They gave us a gift, he said. Not peace. Not mercy, a chance. The others looked at him. He spoke the final vote. I say we take it. One by one, systems began to respond. Some simply sent acknowledgements. We understand. Others sent more. We welcome balance. Teach us. Help us build. A few remained silent, but they no longer moved their fleets. They didn't dare, because now, the choice was clear: resist and be erased, accept and rebuild. On Terra Nova, the silver-haired woman stood alone in the observation hall, watching a child train in the open-air graviton fields below. The man approached her quietly. They've chosen. She nodded. Some, yes. The rest? She turned. They will in time. He studied her face. Are you sure? No, she replied. But that's the point. We gave them choice. The sky above Terra Nova lit up, not from fire, but from hope. New ships entered orbit. Peace signals flashed. Small delegations from other races arrived, not with guards, but with open hands. The war that never truly began was over, because one fool had unsealed humanity's wrath, and Earth didn't just return with power, it returned with purpose. Epilogue. Decades later, stories would be told of the day Earth reawakened, of the ships that erased fleets without firing, of the judgment that didn't come from anger, but from understanding, and of the woman with silver hair, the voice of Earth's rebirth. Humanity never wanted to rule. It just wanted the galaxy to remember. Do not mistake silence for surrender. Do not mistake mercy for weakness. And never, ever, unseal what you do not understand.